20% of the cheese consumed in the United States will be coming out of Dodge City, Kansas, where this facility is being built. It is about a 400 and some odd thousand square foot building altogether.
Which, by the way, is just massive for the cheese.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
when I hear 20%, I'm thinking I thought it would have been bigger. But yeah.
Well, most cheese plants are small.
Sure.
Right? It's small,
Yeah.
And this is a massive plant.
And this one is, I think, one of the reasons it's relatively small compared to the amount of cheese it's producing. It's 100% automated.
Oh.
So once the tanker truck backs up into the bay and unloads the milk, everything from that point forward is all 100% automated until it comes out the other side. So, and it is a fascinating process.
Welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. We're live at IMC in Quebec City. We have Bill and Matt, of course, and we have Randy Thompson as our guest here today. Randy's Vice President, National Build-to-Suits for the Ryan Companies, based in Dallas. Tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are in your career.
Sure. I guess after graduate school, we moved from Los Angeles to Texas. I wound up signing on with Cushman & Wakefield back in 2001. I was there for almost 19 years. My last couple of years there, I was actually working with Ryan Companies on an office build-to-suit for Farmers Insurance outside of Phoenix, Arizona. I'd gotten to know Molly Ryan Carson, who's one of the family members. There's still a few actual Ryan people working around Ryan Companies. And we became very good friends over the course of a 4-year project that we were working on again for farmers. And when Cushman & Wakefield and DTZ merged, long story short, I wound up, from an organizational perspective, changing who I was reporting to. And the guy that I was working for essentially said to me, I'm not sure why they put you under me because I've never done an industrial building in my life. And I don't know why you like working in industrial because to me, those things are big, dumb, ugly boxes. And about that time, I realized the guy that I now report to thinks what I do is big, dumb, and ugly. And I didn't like the thought of that. So I started asking around, and I mentioned this to Molly. I told her the big, dumb, ugly story. And she said, well, Randy, would you ever come to work for us? And I said, well, yeah, I think I just might. So that's where the conversation started. And that's how I wound up here. I've been here for 5 years now. In fact, yesterday was my 5-year anniversary.
Oh, awesome.
That's awesome. Well, usually this doesn't happen. And the way Randy got on the podcast is we happened to meet each other Friday night for the first time here in Quebec.
Yeah.
Had dinner with very nice people.
Yep.
And I will say Randy is a phenomenal storyteller. I heard multiple stories.
Thank you.
He's an author of, I think, 14 books.
14 books, yeah.
14 books.
14 books.
So he's a storyteller.
I'm working on 15 right now. I was writing it on the plane up here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's an incredible storyteller. And I will say one of the stories was industrial, a building he's working on that we talked about, Bill, that I referred to as the cheese building.
Yeah.
So tell us about the cheese building.
Sure. So this is for a company called Hilmar Cheese. And if you've never eaten Hilmar cheese, but if you've actually eaten Kraft cheese or Sargento cheese, you ate Hilmar cheese and just didn't know it. So they make cheese in big blocks that they then sell to Kraft and to
For all the grocery stores.
Yeah. A variety of brands. Yes. And they then package it and ship it to the store for sale. So Hilmar hired Ryan Companies a number of years ago to build what, when it goes online later this year, it will be the largest cheese production facility in the United States. 20% of the cheese consumed in the United States will be coming out of Dodge City, Kansas, where this facility is being built. It is about a 400 and some odd thousand square foot building altogether.
Which, by the way, is just massive for the cheese.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
when I hear 20%, I'm thinking I thought it would have been bigger. But yeah.
Well, most cheese plants are small.
Sure.
Right? It's small,
Yeah.
And this is a massive plant.
And this one is, I think, one of the reasons it's relatively small compared to the amount of cheese it's producing. It's 100% automated.
Oh.
So once the tanker truck backs up into the bay and unloads the milk, everything from that point forward is all 100% automated until it comes out the other side. So, and it is a fascinating process. This building, it's surrounded by 7 dairy ranches where the cattle that'll eventually be cows to be milked are growing. They're not mature yet. The veterinarians are
Because the
keeping an eye
building's
on them.
not done
They're
yet.
not ready.
Right.
That's right. Well, that's for
Timing it.
Yeah, we're timing it exactly right. And we get reports regularly from the veterinarians as to when these cattle are going to be ready to be milked. And the day they're ready, they have to be milked. So what's going
Contractually.
Oh, well, biologically.
Yeah, and biologically.
Now, there is a big penalty. If our building's not operational by the time they start milking, that milk is 100% waste. And there's a pretty hefty
penalty
for that. Yeah, liquidated damages, if you will.
Yes.
Perfect definition.
Go out there and milk those.
Liquidated damages. So the good news is we're well ahead of schedule at this point.
Yeah.
But just imagine the logistics of this. You've got 200,000 cattle surrounding this facility. There are 175 taker trucks, 10,000 gallon stainless steel tankers. Those are going to be filled every day. There are 6 induction lanes at this facility. So there is a crew whose job it is to orchestrate which trucks arrive at what time, because they don't want them sitting around under the sun with raw milk product.
Yeah,
Of course.
They back these things, so it's all orchestrated. They back these trucks into the induction line. It takes 12 minutes to unload this 10,000 gallons of raw milk. Once that's done, they then have to clean the induction line, completely sterilize it, because if that last tanker had some sort of an issue with a parasite or something, they have to be able to get it.
Listeria,
They don't want to
whatever,
contaminate. They don't want to contaminate the next load. So it's 12 minutes to unload, 16 minutes to clean, and then another truck backs up, and they do it all again. They said it's going to be operating about 14 to 15 hours a day. They will be taking in 8 million pounds of raw milk and converting that into 2.5 tons of cheese every single day, 7 days a week, 24/7. Because those cows are milked every day. They don't take weekends off. They milk them every week.
Those cows need to form a union.
That is unreal.
So that's and it's a fascinating process from the raw milk to the separation to pasteurization. And there's one room that's like minus 30 degrees. It's got an enzyme in it that it has to be used to create the cheese products. They have a room that's 35 degrees. So after pasteurization, the cheese goes into the 35-degree room. Once it gets down to 35 after about a week, that's when it then goes on the shelf and is ready to be distributed. So again, and all of that is done without human intervention. The only people working there are the engineers.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when will the building be done?
Before the end of this year.
Before the end of this year.
It's almost done
full
now.
production 2025.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Full bore.
Exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
And it's one of those deals where very often when I'm out talking to brokers or others, and the broker will say to me, have you ever done refrigerated space? Well, we have done lots of them, but I'm trying to think of something maybe out of a battery production place. Well, no, we haven't yet, but we're used to doing one-offs. For example, we built this Hilmar facility, which is, if you as a broker went out in the market and said, I'm looking for someone to build a 500,000 square foot cheese production plant, who's out? Nobody would have their hand up.
Right.
Or very, very few would.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's that one-off skill that the place that I work now, Ryan Companies, has got in spades. We got some really, really smart people who can do very complex things.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being
You're
on the
very welcome.
podcast and
Yeah.
talking about the big cheese building.
Yeah,
The big cheese building.
Big
Yeah.
cheese
Thanks for
building.
inviting me.
Absolutely.
That's a great
Thank
story.
You, Randy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You bet.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You bet.